Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. That's from a guy who sent me his story about a year ago, which was called Dating in 2022 Equal Trainwreck. And in that video, guys, which did pretty well, and I think a lot of you guys saw, he in great detail archived everything about his experiences in dating in 2022. The dating apps, the gals he went out with, everything was quite revealing. And it only backed up pretty much what we all talk about here. Here he is now, give or take 1 year later, detailing his experiences in 2023. And to no surprise, it ain't going to be that much different. And that'd be a very good one to go over here because I really enjoyed the first one. So I thought you guys would definitely appreciate this. So he says here, Dear SSM, you did a video titled Dating in 2022 Equals Trainwreck from the email I sent you in January of this year about how I kept a detailed record of my dating experiences in 2022. In the email, I mentioned I would be taking notes of my dating experiences in 2023. At the end of the video, you said, hopefully, I'll let you know how this goes. Here is a complete breakdown of my dating experiences in 2023. Bro, I appreciate this, and you definitely were quite methodical with your details last time. He says, a woman I had met online, exchanged numbers with, talked to her on the phone, and made solid plans to meet up. Close to the time we were to meet, she told me that she was getting gas and was on her way to meet me. Not only did she stand me up, but she also blocked me. This happened the day after Christmas in 2022. I know this didn't happen in 2023, but I had forgotten to include that in my last email. Doesn't surprise me. Merry Christmas, bitch. It says here, in 2023, I had conversations with 408 women. Here are the breakdowns from each dating app and in person. 408 women, man. Holy crap. Now, clearly, at this point, this guy was doing this probably more for research and for our entertainment and help, as opposed to, like, he really wanted to get some pussy. Okay, of the 408 women, here we go. He said 69 of them, were on Bumble, 147 on Facebook Dating, 46 on Hinge, 44 on OkCupid, 41 Plenty of Fish, 65 Tinder, and 4 in person. This goes to show how fucked up things are now. Of those numbers, of 408 women, only 4 were in person. Out of that number, 78 were phone numbers exchanged, 19 were flakes, last-minute cancellations, 16 maybe we'll see, I'll let you know, 16 never responded when I asked them out, 2 stood me up / no-show, and out of that, 25 actual dates. 11 ended up in the bedroom. Okay, so 408, 25 actually turned into dates, and 11 turned into getting some pussy. So you do the math on the percentage of the 408 women he talked to, and 11 that ended up in the sack. Now, I don't recall how old this guy is. I don't know what he looks like, if he's this jacked, good-looking dude, or he's challenged in the looks department, what kind of money he makes. But the point is, I'm just gonna say he's probably just an average Joe. 11 lays out of 408. This year, only one woman showed up not looking like the pictures she posted on her profile. The pictures she posted were 5 years old and 50 pounds thinner. Yep, sounds about right. Yeah, you go on that blind date and you look at her picture on the dating app and you're pumped because she looks like Daisy Duke, and you show up at the bar and she looks like Boss Hogg. What I started doing is having the women take a selfie holding a piece of paper with my name on it so I can verify they look exactly like the pictures on their dating profile. Well, maybe that's why you only had 25 dates out of 408, because they were probably like, F you, a-hole. The one woman who fooled me with old pictures was because when she sent me a selfie, she was lying down in her bed and had taken the picture at a certain angle. I never fell for that again. Nothing but full body pictures going forward. Guys, I've seen and gotten pictures when the gal was holding the camera up so high that I could even make Jabba the Hutt's face look thin. Here are a few examples of the excuses I was given as to why some women couldn't meet me. Okay, here we go. It says, one woman kept hinting she might be possibly having a migraine. Then she canceled because of a migraine. One woman said her son had a last-minute baseball game, he had to play it. Another one said her son was staying out late. One claimed she thought her ex was taking their kids to watch the night we were supposed to meet. She actually mixed up the days. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, I'm noticing here a lot about kids, so you had obviously a lot of single MOMs. Another woman said that one of her sons wanted to stay home instead of going to his father's house. None of these women ever rescheduled to meet up at a later date. Well, that says everything. If a woman cancels on you and doesn't offer in any way, shape, or form a alternative, a different day, different date, whatever, that tells you everything you need to know. Don't even waste your time, guys. None of the women I read that part. Age ranges the women I went out with, ranging from 25 years old to 58. Education level from PhD to high school dropout. Careers: nurses, oh God, janitor, postal worker, customer service representatives, waitress, bartender, railroad supervisor. Okay, you don't hear that every day. Fast food manager, HR, teachers, nanny, stay-at-home mom. 2 women worked for the FBI as claims investigators. Okay, you don't want to piss them off. As has become commonplace, 99.99% of the gals I had conversations with online or in person talked about how terrible their exes or exes were. Of course. How they were deadbeat dads, didn't work, couldn't keep a job, didn't drive, didn't have a car, didn't have their own place. Were alcoholics, drug addicts, abusive, liars, cheaters, you name it. So, all these guys are the root of all evil. Isn't that amazing? What about them? Are they perfect princesses? I doubt that. I doubt all these guys were as bad as they were making them out to be. And I doubt that all these gals were these Disney princesses. Of course, these gals never talked about what they did wrong or how terrible they were in the relationships, only the men. Of course. Once again, I had many conversations with the gals that consisted of them telling me about their physical issues, mental health issues, medical issues, drug and alcohol abuse, financial problems, job problems, parenting problems, etc. Of course, because they're expecting you to be that boneheaded nice guy that would volunteer to fix all their problems. This year, there were some additional topics of discussion thrown in the mix. I was told about prior arrests and incarcerations, psychiatric breakdowns that result in being put in the hospital or mental institution for treatment. Oh yes, please, let's go on a second date, honey. Past SEX addictions, being a former SEX worker. Multiple women talked about their own parent or parents stole from them. One woman told me she was harmed and put in the hospital by the wife of the husband that she had been having an affair with. She deserved it. Supposed to feel bad for her? She knowingly did that? Here are a few highlights of the more memorable first date conversations. Oh boy. Get your popcorn, gents. A woman told me that she had recently been arrested for leaving her son home alone. One woman told me that she was in a 10-year off and on friends with benefits with situation. When it came to me, she wanted something more. Yeah, she's no problem doing the friends with benefits or chat or tie a rumble with you. She suspected that she could probably get you to actually, fork over some money or whatever. One gal was seeing a guy she knew had a girlfriend. She asked me if that was considered cheating on her part. Oh my God. She knew darn well she's testing you. A woman I went out with of Asian ethnicity told me she dated and introduced a black man to her family just to piss them off. One woman told me when she was married, she told her husband she wanted an open relationship. And then she talked about how she fell for her lover, who she was actually having an affair with before she asked about opening up the marriage. Her husband found out and wisely divorced her. Right there. How many times have I done these stories about the open marriage, open relationships, and every time it's found out that either they have a guy or multiple guys ready to go, or they're already with one guy or multiple guys. Right there. And the fact that she told you this, I mean, another one told me she married her husband despite not being attracted to him. Several years in the marriage, she asked him if they could have, you guessed for it, an open marriage. He begrudgingly agreed, and 6 months into the open marriage, she asked for a divorce. Here are my first date fiascos or unusual situations I found myself involved with in 2023. I want to take a quick intermission here and say that this is awesome. This guy really did his homework here, and I appreciate that. Or he's an elaborate liar, but I don't think he is. I think this guy really, for the fun of it, has kept detailed records and everything. Two ladies from the past came back. One woman I mentioned in my previous email who was extremely drunk on our first date. When she recently reached out to me, I asked her about her drinking. She admitted that she did have a drinking problem when we met, and she lost several good jobs because of her drinking. She also told me her mother was an alcoholic, which was a contributing factor for her drinking. She claimed her drinking issues were behind her. Probably not. You never know, but regardless, I don't care. It's not my job to fix you. We met up a couple times. Smack! God's sakes. And she seemed to be telling the truth. Then one day she kept asking me to come meet her at her place. I told her I wasn't leaving my house. She was welcome to come over. She then admitted that she had been drinking. I said I wouldn't see her. She spewed off some insults. That was the end of that. Well, what'd I tell you? The other blast from the past was the gal I met 7 years ago. She reached out to me on Facebook. What I tell you guys, they always come back 7 years later, but they gotta want something to come back. We met on Plenty of Fish back in 2016. She was 28 years old then. We were just casually hooking up for a few months until she met a guy who wanted a relationship, so she stopped seeing me. In 2018, she reached out telling me how the guy she chose to be in a relationship with did bad things and threatened to off her. She broke up with him and moved to another country to get away from him. He ended up doing a few months in jail. She made plans with me for us to meet up. Then she went ghost. Turns out she got back together with him after his release. Yeah, you're not going to compete with a guy that did time. And remember, she ran away from him because he did bad things. He gets put away. He gets out of prison, and she's back to see him again. Shocker. Fast forward to April of 2023. She hits me up on Facebook again, telling me she wasn't with him anymore. I'd be like, I don't care. How much of an abuser, liar, and cheater, and didn't work, and a lowlife he was. Like you're supposed to feel bad for her? She obviously knew this ahead of time. How do you know she isn't conning you to get money, so he's sitting at home watching freaking Jerry Springer or something, whatever scumbags watch, and get money out of you? Now that she's older and wiser, she's changed her life around. Yeah, sure she has. She said she picked the wrong guy and she should have chosen me. We did get together, smack, and hooked up a few times. And predictably, she went back to him when he begged her to come back. I wouldn't be getting involved with her, messing around with her at all. One in particular, if that guy freaking loses it, and he comes after you. I mean, seriously. I also went out with a woman who didn't speak English very well. I'm sure that was fun. She moved to the U.S. from Brazil and learned to speak English from watching TV. Getting through the language barrier was tricky at times. Thank goodness for Google Translate. Why did you put yourself through that? Unless you were doing it for research, for science, right? Aside from the language differences, it turned out to be a pretty good date overall. She kept apologizing for not speaking English very well and how she wished she spoke English better. She said she was going to take classes and maybe we could try again after she learns to speak English better. You know, on the other hand, maybe it wasn't a bad date because you didn't have to hear her babbling on about what they babble on about. And she was in an apologetic state, so you're probably more likely to get benefits from that. Who knows? Another woman I had a date with and canceled on me when I was 5 minutes away from our agreed-upon meeting place. She texted me that she was walking out the door to come meet me. Then she immediately texted me not to leave yet, even though I was already en route, because her cat was acting strange. She said her cat was having a stroke. Then she said it was having a seizure. She even sent me a picture of herself holding the cat. I didn't hear from her again. He says, SSM, I know you're a cat guy, but I truly did not believe her story. Who knows? But I can tell you I'd be running home if there was a cat situation. My cats were sick. I don't care how good looking the girl was. However, shortly before writing this email, she just messaged me on the dating site we initially met on. She said her cat did pass away. Aw. Just not when we were supposed to meet. The reason she's never gotten in contact with me before after canceling was because she was actually dating another guy and wanted to see how things would go with him. She was back on the site because he cheated on her. I had a good laugh at that. So, you weren't good enough the first time around, but now that the guy that she really wanted cheated on her, now you're okay. Nah, no thanks, honey. Another woman told me she was separated from her husband because she asked him for an open marriage. We're having a lot of that here, huh? And to keep his wife happy, the husband reluctantly agreed. Smack to the husband, jackass. Remember, guys, the overwhelming theme to all these stories is the reason the women behave the way they do to these guys overwhelmingly is because they have no respect for the guys. And the guys don't give them reason to have respect because they are weak bitches and they're idiots. And no self-respect, no spine. Don't check the girls, don't stand up for themselves, don't establish boundaries. Women aren't attracted to weak guys. This is why they eventually chase the scumbags, so at least the scumbags will put them in their place and they'll stand up to them and check them. Then when he wanted to close the marriage, she did not. I asked her if she had cheated, if she had cheated, and that's why she wanted the open marriage. She admitted that was the reason. There you go, another one. And because she also wanted to explore her sexuality. She said she was finally living the life that she wanted and didn't want to go back to being monogamous or being married. Those were her exact words. She let him have full custody of their kids because she wanted to enjoy life on her terms. What a low life. Right there, abandon the kids so she can get a bunch of sausage. Well, newsflash to the lady. Maybe she was very good looking, I have no idea. But those looks are going to fade. The hair is going to turn gray. The wrinkles are going to be around the eyes. The boobs are going to sag. The pussy hair is going to turn gray. You get the point? So her appealing features that are going to get her a lot of guys are going to diminish. I'm sure if she keeps herself thin and keeps her hair long and dyeing her hair, yeah, she can get dudes for a while. Young guys wanting the cougar action, but still. Right down there, destroys the whole marriage, and here you go with the kids. She'll be back begging once things get difficult. I hope that guy doesn't take her back. Another woman I went out with was a therapist who'd been recently divorced. Dude, if there's a gal I would never go out with aside from nurses, it's definitely a therapist. She told me all about how terrible her ex was, how he was always in and out of work. He never supported her. He even stole all her money out of their account. She made it clear she was bitter. We never saw one another after the first date. I feel sorry for the men whose wives or girlfriends go to her for therapy. She will definitely turn the women against their men. You can bet your ass. And if her hair isn't blue already, it will be blue soon. Another gal I met online was going to a major university here in my hometown to get her PhD. Translation, she's up to her eyeballs in debt. She said she just wanted to have casual fun until she finished up her degree. We began hooking up for a few months. We never went on one date, just sex. Well, if that's what you were up for, and you wore protection and provided your protection and all that, and she wasn't psycho, you're consulting adults. Right before she said to graduate and move back to her home state, she told me that she had a boyfriend back home. There you go. You're nailing some other guy's chick and you had no idea. This is why you gotta do digging, guys. She wanted to have her fun before settling down with him. She still texts me this day about how much she misses me. Dude, you need to do a service and reach out to this boyfriend of hers and let him know who he's involved with. One woman I met showed up for the date looking exactly like her pictures. However, one key point she cleverly hid in her dating profile pictures and failed to mention in our short phone conversation prior to the date. The fact that she was missing her left arm. Now, I'm sorry she has no arm. And I'm sorry whether she was born that way or a terrible accident, But, and obviously it's hard for her to get dates. I hope she's good. I'm sure she's good looking and all that, but whoa, never heard that one before. The crazy part was neither one of us said anything about it during the course of our time together. I mean, what are you going to say? Hey, you want to shake it? Oh, wrong hand. But we both knew it was there, or wasn't there. Other than missing a limb, she was really nice and we had a great night together. It was the best sex I had with a one-armed woman. Well, that's a story to share. I'm willing to bet you she was made up for things to obviously compensate for clearly something. I gotta wonder. So was it like nothing here past the shoulder? Did she have something down to the elbow? I want to know. I'm sure you guys want to know. The story she told me was that she would drive to meet. Hang on a second here. All right, okay. Thanks for bearing with me. I wanted to save the best story. What, the one-armed girl wasn't the best story? I want to say the best story, in my opinion, for last. Matched with a woman on Tinder who was looking for a casual situation just like I was. She was 35 years old, had been married and divorced twice to the same guy. Oh, God. Well, guess what? She's going to be married and divorced 3 times to the same guy. She was 35 years old, had been married and divorced twice to the same guy. They were high school sweethearts who got married when she got pregnant. Divorced after 1 year. Remarried after a few years of being apart, and then divorced again after 1 year of marriage. She had 2 kids. One child from her ex-husband, and the other child was from a casual hookup situation with a guy she met online. Well, be careful, the next one's going to be yours. The story she told me was that she would drive to meet him at a gas station, pick him up, and then would go to find a place to park and have sex in her car. She said they did this for 2 years. She never once went back to his place because he didn't have a place. She got pregnant in the backseat of her own car. What is she, back in high school? When we met, her child was several months old. The father had only seen him twice in all the time, according to her. She had hoped he would get his act together and want to spend time with her and their child. Since that did not happen, she was ready to move on. We ended up hooking up that night. She said she had a great time with me and couldn't wait to see me again. No thanks. 2 days later, I got a text from her here. This is her message. Okay. She says, "Hey there. I've been thinking and I'm really, really sorry, but I don't think I can hang out again. You're really nice and I had a really good time with you, but I'm not over Malcolm's dad." Shocker. I try to be, so just I could give him the space he needs, but honestly, I just don't want to be with anyone else. The guy who has no home and no job and all that, shocker. He may never want to settle down with me, I get that, but regardless, my heart's not ready to let him go. And also the casual thing I just did, ever did casual hookups with him, and to me it was more than just hookups because we have a past. I just don't think it's a good idea for my mental health to get into another casual fling again, especially when I still have feelings for him. I wouldn't even respond. I think I wanted to try and move on because she's still going on here. I think I wanted to try and move on because I wanted him to have his time and stuff that he needed. And I felt like he was never going to want to settle down with me. And he might never do that. But I think I want to wait until at least my heart can heal. I'm really sorry. You're such a nice guy. I just felt I need to tell you how I'm feeling about it, all because it's not fair to you. If I continue to hook up with you when I'm still in love with somebody else. Oh, for goodness sake. All I could say was, okay. Yeah. What more need to be said? This is SSM. These stories have not been fabricated because they need not to be. Just the sad but true story of my dating experience in 2023. Well, dude, I'm willing to bet you there are guys out there that have way worse stories, their dating experiences in 2023. And people wonder why so many guys are walking away. Not just marriage or relationship, dating all together, even hookups. Guys are like, you know what? I got better things to spend my time and energy on. I'll just hire a pro every time I need something. Those are just a few of the dating experiences in 2023. There were a few more, but I didn't want to make this email too long. Bro, you could have doubled your email here, and everybody would be enjoying it. If you make a story, send me an email in a year on your experience in 2024, which I hope you do, by the way. You can make an hour long. I don't care. The past few years of dating have been exhausting, and I might need to take a break for my own sanity. However, if I do decide to keep track in 2024, I'll be sure to send SSM my results. Thanks again for taking the time to read this. Hopefully my experiences can help my fellow single men avoid some of the train wrecks that I had the misfortune of encountering. Holy shit. Again, 404, I think. It would have been funny if it was 304. 404 chicks he talked to. 4 in person. 25 dates, I think, and 11 lays. And look at all the BS he was going through on the ones he was actually talking to or on the dates with. Good God. I still think the best story is the one-armed girl. I mean, my mind's in the gutter. I'm just imagining things, how that whole thing went down. Maybe you can email me more details. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you're thinking. But thank you for taking the time to document all this to save you guys a lot of headaches and heartache. And again, bro, I really appreciate you doing that. That was very cool of you. And maybe take a few months off to recuperate. And then you can start your science experiment documenting all this information so you can send it to me next year in 2024. We'll make this an annual thing. Every year you send me a report and we'll see if things get better, and I seriously doubt they will. I'm sure you like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.